What is a clone character? And what does that have anything to do with Marvel Rivals? Well, my friends, I'm going to explain it to you. And I'm also going to explain why it should never happen in a game full of Marvel characters. I'm going to try to explain why I believe something like this even occurred in a hero shooter that has Marvel characters in it, but I don't think that's still a good reason as to why it even happened in the first place. When you create a hero shooter, there are defined archetypes that characters should fit in for a hero shooter to work properly. For example, a brawl tank. They're typically beefy blobs of HP that can dish out a lot of pain up close. Their inherent flaw is not being able to close the distances quickly, so they're susceptible to longer range characters. Now, if you look at Marvel's catalog, there's a lot of characters that fit that description. Grabbing someone from Marvel's catalog and putting them in a hero shooter to do that one specific thing should not be that hard, and it isn't that hard. We have plenty of brawl tanks and brawl characters in this game. Picking certain Marvel characters to fit other archetypes in the game could be a little bit more difficult, such as creating a high sustain healer. There's not a lot of Marvel characters that I can think of that are very popular that would really fit this role, but I believe Marvel Rivals did a really good job at changing up how we perceive certain characters' powers to fit this archetype. For example, Invisible Woman. I have never seen Susan Richards heal with her powers in any form of Marvel media that she was present in. Alongside Gambit, I've never seen Gambit healing one either, but Marvel Rivals has presented their powers in such a way that is believable within the Marvel universe. So you may be asking, what am I getting at with this? I'll explain it to you. If NetEase has already demonstrated that they can completely change up how a character is perceived through their power to make them fit certain archetypes in Marvel Rivals for the game to work, why is it that we have what I would define as a clone character in this game? Now, for those of you that know what a clone character is, you're probably already going to flip my argument on its head. Well, if you already explained certain characters need to fit a certain archetype in this game, we're eventually going to run into an issue where people are going to feel a little bit samey because they release a character every month. Well, to that I'll say, how about we don't release a character every single month if characters are going to end up feeling samey? That's just something that shouldn't happen in a game full of Marvel characters. As for those of you who do not know what a clone character is, let me give you a quick breakdown of it. You can pause this and read the full description. I'll even put the link in the description to the Wikipedia page so you get a better understanding of it. I'm going to paraphrase this definition, alright? Basically what it's saying is a character that looks very similar to another character in terms of their animation and how their moves are used, but they have different properties and do different things. Makes sense, right? And this is commonly used in a fighting game to fill out a roster, because a fighting game's roster is the main attraction of the game. It's not necessarily the gameplay, and it's not necessarily how the game looks. It's about who's in the game. That's why games that have an original cast of fighters typically don't do too well in today's time, because they haven't had an established amount of time like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. A lot of you may not know what I'm referencing when I say this, but this is one of the main reasons why DNF do die, by the way. So how is it that when we have a cast of characters that are composed of only Marvel characters in a 6v6 competitive hero shooter, do we have a case of a clone character being in this game? These are not original characters that NetEase is creating. These are characters that have existed for quite some time. The main reason why this game is so special is because these are Marvel characters. You can draw inspiration from whatever version of the character you've seen in any Marvel medium and implement them into the game in a very unique way, such as Storm. I never thought I'd see the day where I see Storm damage boosting and speed boosting people with her powers. That is a very unique take on Storm's abilities. You saw the thumbnail. You know exactly who I'm referring to. The Phoenix is a clone character of Hela. Look me dead in my eye and tell me I'm wrong. Because once you look at their ability list, you will notice, these are practically the same exact character. The significant difference between the two is that the Phoenix is just an upgraded version of Hela. Because if she did not have the spark system, it'd be the same fucking character. And notice how I'm calling her the Phoenix, not Jean Grey, because they damn sure made her feel like the Phoenix. This is not Jean Grey. This is just the thing that the Phoenix controls and walks around with in Marvel Rivals. It does not feel like Jean Grey. I bet a lot of you did not know that Jean Grey's original superhero name was Marvel Girl, and she does not have the power of the Phoenix. She has the power of telepathy, telekinesis, and flight. And to me, that is relevant. I know certain characters have to fit an archetype archetype in Marvel Rivals. I'm okay with that. Why is it that when I see someone like Jean Grey that I like a lot, and I mean a lot, she's one of my favorite X-Men when they're not writing her poorly, which is really hard to come across, by the way, do I see her as just an upgraded version of a character that's already in a game? I feel like NetEase has such a great opportunity to show off Jean Grey's powers without the Phoenix. Because a lot of the time where she's presented to a wider audience, she is attached to the Phoenix and people don't really recognize what she's capable of outside of having a cosmic fucking being stuck to her ass cheeks every second of the day. Until they fully rework this character to feel completely different from Hela, she will always just be Fire Hela to me. I don't understand how this is what Jean Grey came to in Marvel Rivals, but I'm very disappointed. And even if I were to like her as the Phoenix and leave her as a poke character, I don't want her to feel like Hela. She should feel unique. She should feel different. If there's one thing I can say about the shooty shoot characters in Marvel Rivals, a lot of them feel very different. Punisher and Cyclops, they may play similar. They do a lot of different things. The Widow rework, she is a angle machine. She has all of that mobility for a reason. I know a lot of you can be like, oh, they're all broken. They're all the same thing. They don't do the same thing. No, they feel like that because all of them have been overtuned. That's the fucking problem. That's why they feel like they're the same fucking characters, because they too tappy from halfway across the map. When they're not overtuned, they feel unique. They feel different. But I can't say that for Hela and Phoenix. These are the same fucking characters. To me, this is a complete failure of a character. I actually just can't describe it any other way. That's why I titled this video like how I titled it. This is the most egregious clone character I've ever seen in gaming. And I've played Mortal Kombat 3 where Scorpion and Smoke had the same exact moveset. I've played Street Fighter 3 New Generation where Yang and Yang were just palette swaps of each other. Those were literal clones of each other. They were the same exact character. But the main difference to me is that Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, up until that point in time when they released those characters, were not supremely established franchises. They needed characters to fill out their arcade rosters. We shouldn't treat established Marvel characters like their roster fill-ins, especially when it comes to one of the most popular X-Men. And I think that's the part that really doesn't make any sense to me. Why Hela and Phoenix? What about these two characters scream similarities? Because Hela already doesn't fight like how she probably would fight. Again, she had to fit an archetype, and I think it works pretty well with Hela, but Phoenix, of all characters, I would understand if it was like Iron Man and War Machine if they played similarly. That would make a lot of sense. Or if Nick Fury was in the game and he played similar to Punisher, that would also make a lot of sense. Why Hela and Phoenix of all characters, NetEase? I quite literally cannot wrap my head around why these characters are so similar to each other. But here we stand 6 seasons later and she's still the same character. Do I think Phoenix is in desperate need of a rework? No. This whole video is just me ranting about how I don't like how they created Jean Grey in this game. She's a completely fine character. She's annoying as shit to deal with when she's strong, but she's a completely fine character that fits well in Marvel Rivals. That does not mean I don't think she's an egregious clone character, because what the fuck is a clone character doing in a 6v6 Marvel hero shooter? That makes no sense. There aren't even any clone characters in Marvel fighting games. Unless you're talking about the hidden characters in the old arcade cabinets, then yeah, I guess there are clone characters in old Marvel fighters, but you get the point I'm trying to make. I'm rambling at this point and I don't want to reiterate the same point 50 times in a row, so let's wrap this up. I feel like NetEase missed a big opportunity to put Jean Grey in the limelight to represent her as her own character with her own unique abilities in Marvel Rivals, considering we have plenty of cases in this game where characters are very different from how we traditionally expect them to play. And to set things straight, I don't mind the Phoenix, okay? I don't hate it. I know it's an integral part to Jean Grey's character, but there are some times where I just like seeing Jean Grey be Jean Grey. She's Marvel girl, man, not the Phoenix. I hate that Marvel forgets that sometimes. If you made it this far into the video, you know the drill. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Have a wonderful day, and peace out.